Alright, welcome back to part 2 of lesson 2. I'm going to talk about horizontal rules and page breaks in this lesson, but I'm also going to review just a little bit of the stuff we talked about before. So, quick review. We talked about headlines, we talked about bold element, italics element, and emphasis element. Okay? So bold makes things bold. It makes the text look thicker and darker next to all the other text. It starts with an opening tag, it closes tag, it has the B as the element. Italics has an opening tag and closing tag, and it has I as the element. Emphasis has an opening tag and closing tag, and has M as the element. So I'll show you what they look like really quickly. Run it in my browser. Bold, as you can see, is darker, bolder. Italics is sort of slanty and italicized. And emphasis looks exactly the same as italics. Okay? Move on to headlines. H1 is the biggest of the headlines. H2 is smaller. H3 is smaller. H4 is smaller still, and so on and so forth all the way down to H6, H6 being the smallest. Now if I take an H1 and put it in the middle of a line, it's going to break that line up and force a new line. Like this. It forces its own line. You want to think of the H1 as stretching from one edge of the page all the way to the other. It makes things big, it makes them bold, and it takes up an entire line. So that's H1. Now I'm going to move on to horizontal rule and page break. Page break breaks up a line. Okay? I'm going to put one in here. This is what it looks like. Caret, BR, / caret. And wherever you put this down, it doesn't have an opening or closing. It's just got one thing. It's called an empty tag. And it appears here. And wherever it appears, it forces a new line. Did you see the change? The change happened right after this. It forced everything after this to its own line. Okay? I'm going to put another one in here after sapien there. I'll copy it, paste it, save, refresh. See? It forced a new line. Pretty simple. Now, I'm going to move on to horizontal rule. The horizontal rule looks very similar to break. Instead of BR, it's HR. It doesn't have an opening or closing tag. It's just this thing called an empty tag. And wherever you drop that HR empty tag, it puts a line from one edge of the page to the other. I'm going to put one underneath all of my headlines. There we have it. Horizontal rules all the way across the page underneath every one of my headlines. That is lesson 2.